Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truth Hurts podcast, a podcast where we believe in standing up for your constitutional rights, freedom of speech, and telling the truth, even if it hurts. I'm your host, Malibu Dallas. What do you say we get this party started?
You guys, what Child Protective Services doesn't want you to know. I really hope you stick around for this one because this one's important. So I was on the phone with a client here in Texas, and she sent me a recording from a phone call she had with her caseworker. Now, my client was very smart in this interaction because she recorded the whole entire phone call and she got the caseworker to admit a very crucial step in the process. So the caseworker on recording said, if you don't sign the safety plan, we'll have to take you to court. You guys, this is huge because of two reasons. Well, maybe three. Let's break it down. Number one, you guys, all interactions with CPS, including agreements, are 100% voluntary. Number two, the CPS worker just committed about 3 different felonies in that one sentence. Felony number 1 is coercion, intimidation, blackmail, and fraud. The safety plan is a 100% contract, and it has to be entered into voluntarily, knowingly, and purposefully. If the safety plan is 100% voluntary, and she admitted that on the recording, then if she's blackmailing you into signing that, then it no longer becomes voluntary. Oh, and let's not forget that she's getting a bonus if she gets you to sign the safety plan on the first visit. Yeah, they have financial incentives to get you to sign that safety plan. You guys, when you sign a safety plan and you enter into a contract with CPS, you are giving them jurisdiction. You're also telling the judge you're basically guilty. You guys, never sign anything with CPS and never let a CPS agent in your home without a warrant.
You guys, welcome to the Truth Hurts podcast. I'm your host, Malibu Dallas. Thanks for tuning in today. If you're watching from the Facebook private group, welcome. If you're watching from my YouTube channel, fantastic. Make sure that you hit that button down below and subscribe. We definitely are trying to grow this channel to the best of our abilities, and it's working. You know, what we're trying to do with this channel is to spread awareness about CPS corruption, family court corruption, and we're trying to empower parents to the best of our abilities and all over the country. Social media is a wonderful thing, and we're able to reach so many different people all over the country with knowledge. Knowledge is 100% power. And as long as you can acquire that knowledge, the proper knowledge in defending you and your family in court, that's all that matters. You don't need a lawyer to defend yourself in court. You don't need a lawyer who works for the court to represent you in court. All you need is knowledge. And that's what our main goal is to do, and spread that all over the country. That's one of the only reasons why we're doing what we're doing. And as long as you acquire that knowledge, you can help us completely eliminate the corruption within inside of family court. You guys, we have a wonderful show for you today. My co-host is Lucinda Pennington. She will be popping into the show here a little bit later. And we have some wonderful people on the show today. A wonderful family out of Florida, little baby Oakland. You know, she's so cute. We're going to show you a video of her and the mother Amber and the father Matt. They are standing by to come into the show. But I want you to see this really cute video that I put together for you guys. It's a little video mashed up with some of their TikToks that they put together. And little baby Oakland, she's adorable.
Cause I love
How do you not love that little kid? She's like so adorable. Okay. And you're actually going to be able to see her here on the podcast here shortly. You guys, welcome Amber and Matt out of Florida. They're here to talk about their story, to get a little insight on their case, and hopefully we can learn a little something about their case. So you guys, everybody, welcome Matt and Amber. How you guys doing?
Good.
Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. What are your guys' plans for the weekend?
Our son's 13th birthday is tomorrow, so we're going to the beach and doing the family thing.
13. 13.
That's Oakland. She's not happy.
There's Oakland. There's Oakland.
There's Okie.
All right. Oh, now she's happy. She's got the good stuff. So, okay, so you got your oldest is 13, and do you have any other children?
Our oldest will be 16 next month. We have our 13-year-old, he'll be 13 tomorrow. We have my stepkids, which are his kids. They're 10 and 9, and then 6.5. And Oakland, she's 8 months old, and I am currently 7 months pregnant.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. The family's growing.
Yeah.
Family's growing. Yeah. Daddy's got some swimmers. Okay. All right. So, well, you guys, thank you for being here. You guys are in Florida. I know there's a lot of corruption all over the country. And there's a movie out. It's a documentary movie on Netflix.
We watched it.
I recommend everybody seeing it.
Yeah. Tell everybody, what's the name of that movie again?
Something about Tara.
Kayla?
Maya.
There you go, Mila. There you go. It's called Taking Care of Maya.
Yes, it's a very heartbreaking story.
It is. I watched that. I streamed that movie live on one of my TikTok lives.
Really?
Yeah, I streamed it live, and I had to pause the movie multiple times, because I was so infuriated with the caseworkers, and there were so many times when I was yelling at the screen, "That's illegal! They can't do that! This is pissing me off." So
they don't care. They should do whatever they want, how they want, when they want.
Oh, that's true. They literally don't. They literally don't care about the law. They only care about their own policies and procedures. And 90% of the time, they're not even following their own policies and procedures. So
No, that's one of the things in our story. They come and took our daughter without warrant. And there was nothing. The lady comes. She had her cell phone. That was it.
She had her cell phone. That was it.
That was it. And we
no court order, no warrant, no police officer, no nothing.
Yeah, well, we can break that down for you. And obviously, you guys know that was illegal, but we can get into that.
At that moment in time, I've never dealt with DCF. I've never been involved with DCF or CPS, and
we're learning a lot.
Definitely.
Well, are you learning a lot from my videos, or are you doing your guys' own research? Like, what are you guys doing with that?
You were the reason. We laid in bed the night after we got our daughter back, and I was scrolling through TikTok, and I come across, you were the first thing that popped up when I opened TikTok, and it said DCF, CPS, corruption, and I went to her in tears, and ever since then, we've been following you and doing our own research after that, and it's been a hell of a ride.
It's amazing what knowledge will do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the government doesn't want you to have knowledge. They want you to be very dumbed down and docile and disobedient. The more knowledge you have, the stronger you are. Right? So, You guys, let's bring in my co-host, Lucinda Pennington. I don't know if you guys are following her on TikTok, but you might want to follow her. She's a very powerful force. She has over 400 positive reunifications. And with families and children. So, and she's got her own 501c3. She's got her own published book. We're going to be talking about that. And then she also has a newly required building in Missouri where she's going to be doing a lot of her operations. So I'm very, very proud of her, and she's very knowledgeable. So everybody, let's bring on Lucinda. How you doing, Lucinda?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay? I'm trying these new headphones.
Oh, she's got headphones on this.
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right. There's a little feedback on your guys' side, Amber, but it's not that bad. But anyway, So Lucinda, they're in Florida. How many? Can you tell? Let's do this. Tell Amber and Matt exactly what you just recently accomplished in Florida. Go.
7 agencies are getting shut down because they are not licensed to be able to practice.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Would you like to know how we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Have to come to a class.
You're in Florida. You should appreciate this even better because if an agency, she's so cute. So if an agency has caseworkers who are only, say, maybe they have I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to mute your mic while I'm talking because there's feedback coming from. So they can have a degree in social work. That's fine. That's great. But if nobody inside of that agency has a license to operate under state law, under the color of law, because they have a certain contract between the state and the federal government in order to collect federal funding. They have to abide by that contract, right? If nobody inside of the office at all is licensed, has a social worker license, that means they're committing federal fraud against the federal government. Lucinda, take it away.
So it's very important to get the list of everybody that works there. And we work nonstop doing background checks and making sure that they're all licensed. And if we can come back with this person's not licensed, there's nobody licensed in your agency, we submit a form to the Title IV funding and they get shut down.
So what is that the same for Camelot and Guardian?
Everywhere. Title IV funding is through the federal government and they have to meet certain qualifications to get the funding. And if they don't meet those qualifications, they get shut down and then they have to pay back what they've been paid.
And here's the thing, Amber, Matt, here's the thing, is if they're not licensed and they're collecting federal funding, not only are they in violation of their contract with the state, they're committing federal fraud. They're kidnapping children for federal funding, and they're committing federal fraud. So not only do they get shut down, they could be facing possibly federal government charges for fraud. So not only do they get shut down.
So because we are currently going through Camelot, FSE, and
Guardian at
Lightum.
Mm-hmm. So all of them. Well, a guardian ad litem, that's an attorney.
No, she's called a volunteer. She's not
licensed. Told you, Dallas. I told you. Woo!
Wait a minute. Okay. We just did a medical privacy class earlier today. And we had this exact same conversation. Okay, ready? Lucinda, take it away. Check this out.
Okay, so when a guardian ad litem says that they're a legal advocate, and they're not licensed, they're committing fraud. So they are committing fraud by the fact that they're practicing law without a license by saying that they're volunteers. So when they are volunteers, the state says, well, they don't have to be licensed, they don't have to be certified, they're committing fraud.
If you or I were to practice law without a license,
I've cost 159 caseworkers their jobs and probably about 8 or 9 guardian ad litems their jobs. Yeah.
I can give you a list.
I teach the parents how to do it.
Bring it on.
I teach the parents how to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy. I teach you guys how to do it. That's why my ministry is called Overcomers, because once I teach one family to do it, I tell them to teach the others. So it's a domino effect.
Well, I need to learn because there is, I don't know if you guys want us to tell or begin where and how and what happened. Because we actually just had court on Wednesday and supposedly we have case closure on August 15th. But we've been dealing with this ever since December 27th of 2022. Do you want me to go ahead and go into what happened?
What's your name?
My name? Amber Devilbus.
That's Amber and
Okay.
Amber and Matt.
Okay.
And we're located
a lot of people
in Middleburg, Florida.
Okay. Now, Florida is one of the most corrupt when it comes to child trafficking out of CPS. They wait at the hospitals waiting for babies to be born, unfortunately. And I've helped a lot of cases out of Florida due to fraud. So, oh, what a pretty baby.
Lucinda, did you see the video I put together of her?
No.
All right, let's do it again.
I'm sorry. I apologize for being late, guys.
You're fine. You are fine.
She's just so cute. Okay, here
She just wanted to be in the video. That's all.
Show it again. She's just so cute. Hold on a second.
That's awesome, guys.
That cool or what? They're so cute. So cute.
I waited a very long time for this little girl.
Yeah, she's definitely adorable. She doesn't look unhealthy or anything, you know, but CPS will always make it look like you guys are the devil.
That's what the accusations is. So, I mean, you want me to start with our story, how it starts off?
Yeah, start out. Yeah, let's hear it.
So, December 26th, me and Amber laid down, and Oakland laid down with us. We were laying down to watch a movie. She fell asleep.
I did.
Amber fell asleep. Then Oakland dozed off and rolled out of her arms off of our bed onto the floor. Nothing was wrong. I went over there. I picked her up. Nothing was wrong. She wasn't crying. She was happy. She was Oakland. And it was between 10 and 11. So we went on about our way. She was good. The next day, it was probably 6:30, 7 o'clock. We got done walking the nature trails, come home. She had a bow on her head. We took the bow off, and there was a little swelling on the right side of the back of her head.
Uh-huh.
As any parent would do, we took her to the ER.
Thinking it was the safe place.
Thinking it was the right thing to do. We took her there.
That was a very rude awakening, right?
Oh, at first it didn't start like that until they said it was trauma and they're going to have to transfer her for observation to Wolfson's Children's Hospital.
So they life-flighted her.
Well, I had to go take our oldest son home because he was there. And then I was thinking that Amber was going to be able to be with her. I show up at the hospital to watch Life Flight going away with my daughter. I go in and I asked them. They said that Amber wasn't there. I couldn't use a phone to call her. I left. Long story short, I found out Amber was still there. I went, picked her up. We went to Wolfson's. For everybody at Wolfson's to treat us, y'all better be able to make sure your story matches, and the police investigations come in, DCFs come in. Everybody was really rude there until the next day. The next day, all this team come in, the neuro team and everyone come in, and they all cleared her.
Head of neuro and trauma.
They said everything's good. There's no bleeding. It was just slight swelling, and the swelling was already gone down the next day. So it was, they said we were going to be discharged after the CPT team came in and investigated. So child protection team come in. They did their investigation. They checked her all over and said we would be getting back. They'd be getting back with us. Well, this lady, Waynisha Wright, is with Department of Children and Families in Middleburg, Florida.
Clay County.
I think she's racist. That's just me. I don't know if I can say that, but she is the investigator that started all this. The first time we went to court.
Well, no, you got to back up a little bit.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay, so in order for us to be discharged from the hospital, we had to have an in-home safety monitor to be released from the hospital. For somebody to stop their life and to come move in our home to babysit us, I just turned 38 last week. He's 36. This isn't our first rodeo being parents.
Was it court ordered that they would have to move? No.
We didn't know any of this at the time.
It was direction by CPS.
I said, I do nothing.
Was it direction by CPS?
This was by Department of Children and Families.
Yes. So DCSS or whatever whatever they're called where you're at. So CPS were making these demands, correct?
Yes.
So the one thing that you got to understand is that CPS literally has no legal authority to do diddly squat without a court order. They can't demand that someone move into your house. They can't demand that the father or the mother leaves the house. What they're doing with this is they're trying to create division. If they can create division, they can separate, they can divide and conquer. And if they can get somebody to move into your house, then the government's going to send them even more money, and then they start collecting more funding.
So all the way around, all it is our daughter was a paycheck for them.
That's all it ever is. That's all it ever is.
So we ended up getting my niece as our safety monitor, and she stopped her life. She came and stayed with us. They said that we had to go back and do another bone survey, another bodily scan. So we took her back on January 14th.
Why another one?
To make sure that there was no fractures or anything, because she ended up having a very minor head skull fracture from when she fell 4.5 feet off of our bed onto the floor.
Okay.
It was a minute displacement, a hairline fracture.
And now, mind you, she was only 6 weeks old when this happened.
But okay, so do you babies can be born. They can literally be born, like as you're giving birth, they can be born with hairline fractures in their skull or their leg or whatever. So for them to make such a big deal out of a hairline fracture is kind of...
It wasn't the hairline fracture that they made such a big deal about after they did the bone survey. Her T9 and her T11 was not properly formed all the way. Because when I was pregnant with her, I had a lot of health issues, being sick. And they had me on different medications that, come to find out, causes bone density issues in babies. I'm so sorry. She's sleepy. So when the bone scan came back, they said that her T9 and her T11. Oh, and she also has GERD. She had GERD really bad. And she would always jerk and arch her back where she was like literally upside down. The CPS lady said that I either snapped her in half or I threw her from a second floor story.
So my question is how does the CPS agent...
Where's her expertise? Did you ask her where her expertise is? Man, I'd have a field day with this bitch.
When we went to court.
So when we went to court, her attorney, they gave us two different attorneys, and they've tried making us fight against each other. Because I was wondering
why
we need two attorneys. Because my attorney never reached out to me at all. The one time I did talk to her, she was like, "You just keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing." And her attorney is steadily fighting for her. She's steadily talking to us and fighting. But anyway, we were in court, and she goes, "So I want you to tell me where this Kathleen Dooley with CPT, where her signature is, because there is nothing on here, and she is not a medical doctor. She don't have a doctor's degree. She's only something, I forgot the terminology they said.
Not a licensed doctor.
She's not a licensed doctor." So her attorney was asking, "Where's her signature? I want to see her signature for all these accusations and how they have proof." Which right before this way, Niche, you're right. You swear under oath the first time we go to court.
She changed her story 3 times. Under oath.
She swore under oath the second time we went to court, and it was a totally different, that everything was worded different. Then the third time.
Get your hands on the transcripts and then file a criminal complaint with the DA for impeachment or
I have everything.
It's called fraud upon the courts. When a CPS worker or anybody that testifies under oath, it's fraud upon the courts, and that's very frowned upon, and they can get into a lot of trouble.
And if the judge is actively ignoring it, then the judge is committing a felony as well by violating his oath of office.
Okay, because see, I was wondering why, because everything that we're going through, like they did withheld of adjudication, but we still have to do our therapy. We went to parenting class and was not even on the video chat for 10 minutes. And the lady's like, y'all don't need parenting classes. Why are y'all even here? And it keeps going.
So every 7 days we have our case manager, Cheyenne Foster. She comes to our home every 7 days. The guardian ad litem comes out once a month. For a baby that has never been abused, that has been cleared by every doctor imaginable. Her PCP I have from the day she was born, because like I said, she had GERD. This baby was in there every 4 to 7 days. She was in the doctor's office, and I have every single record from her doctor saying no abuse, no.
They wouldn't even, her doctor tried getting in every court thing that we had, and they would not let her speak at all. They would not send her the leaks for Zoom or nothing.
Never returned any phone calls of hers, didn't talk to her. Still to this day, nothing has been talked about with.
Please let me help you sue them.
Please, because
please let me help.
That's
Please let me help. I will have a field day with these motherfuckers.
Wanting to reach out to you, Dallas, and it there's a lot, man, and we've been through. I've lost 4 jobs due to these people.
Okay, whoa. If they're interfering with your ability, okay, who we got feedback somewhere. Hold on. All right. If they're interfering with your ability to make money and provide for your family, if they're actively doing that, it's not only you can sue them for tortious interference. Do you understand what that means? No. Okay. So tortious interference is if one business interferes purposefully with another business in some way of trying to get them to where they're losing a contract, they're losing customers, something like that. It's called tortious interference. It's something that hurts you financially.
I mean, it's gotten bad. I don't care to say it right now, but we're getting ready to lose our house because of it. Like I said, I've lost jobs. But we didn't know the ins and outs of everything. Like I said, until the last couple of months when we started watching you.
But then what do? Do you just lay down and fight, like jump through their hoops to suffice what they want?
No.
Or do we live in fear that if we don't comply with them, that they're going to come bang on our doors and
take our baby
again? I mean,
wait a minute. Is your case closed?
No.
Oh, you should not be on here if your case is not closed. They're going to use everything you just said on this live against you the next time you go to court. Do you have another court hearing?
No, we don't. We're done. We just went to court.
They put in for case closure for August 15th. We don't have another case.
We're done in court.
So your case is closed.
August 15th.
Pretty much, but it's for case closure because everything is already we've already done everything.
Do you have a letter from the court saying that there's actually a hearing for the closure?
What was that?
Do you have a letter or some kind of notice from the court saying that there's a hearing or something like that for August 15th or whatever it might be for the case closure?
Not from the actual courts. We do have it where it's been documented with the courts from Camelot and Guardian ad litem for the expiration date for August 15th for court. It has been filed with the Clay County Courthouse. So when we just had court on the 19th on this past Wednesday, everything it was just to go in front of the judicial review in front of the magistrate.
For case closure.
To let them know everything of what's been going on, how we have done all of their, like I've had to do drug screens because I had marijuana in my system. But everything else, like the parenting, we requested counseling because of how bad it has really just mentally screwed us over. But there's no, like, even when we went to court, she was like, "Yeah, you won't be. You're done. You won't be coming back to court because it's hurting."
So typically, something like that, you're not going to want. Now, this is why I tell all my clients: you cannot believe a word CPS says. I don't care what they tell you. You cannot believe a single word a CPS agent tells you. If they tell you something like it's going to be closed, we're looking at closing your case, all we need to do is this, that, whatever it might be, you're always going to want to demand a certified letter of closure. Always, 100%.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I understand.
Because it doesn't matter. I mean, like, I could be standing outside with them in a beautiful sunny day. And they're going to go, "Wow, it's a beautiful day today." And you're going to like, what? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. Right? You literally cannot trust a word that they say. You're going to want to question everything that they say. You're going to want to question everything because they're never going to tell you the truth. They're going to deceive you to manipulate the facts in order to get what they want out of the case.
And we've seen that 100%. That's they've turned a lot of things around that we've said, things that we haven't even said.
It's their MO. It's how they get control of cases. So
that's why it's very important to record them on everything they say. Literally, you have to. Now, this is what I tell parents. If for some reason, say they give you a phone call and you're not able to hit that record button, What you do is after the phone call, you text them or email them and say, per our conversation on this date, this time, it was 12 minutes and 13 seconds. We stated this, you stated that. Please confirm you received this email and confirm this conversation.
I have
to
everything.
respond.
I don't like talking on the phone. I have everything via text and email, so everything is documented.
That's the best way to communicate. In fact, I almost tell my parents to insist on it. Everything needs to be done through email, through text messages, and they need to. I use court-appointed lawyers because I get them debarred if they don't do their job. Okay.
So like our case manager, 2 weeks ago, she came out. She sent me a message and she said that she needed her boss needed to come out with her, because it was per, what was it? Their insurance, their quality
control.
Yeah, because our case was coming close to the end and her supervisor needed to come out, just to clarify and make sure everything that what she's been doing has been what she needed to do.
You want me to tell you what that means?
No, but when her supervisor came out, I caught her in a lie because she said, "Oh, I'm here to make sure she gets certified."
Yeah.
So
there's always a hidden agenda.
Everybody has just been throwing the bullshit papers at us, like.
There's always a hidden agenda. Okay. If you ever hear the terms like this, for everybody watching, Amber and Matt, if you ever hear this term, we just want to come out and do one last visit. We just need to see the kids one more time. We just need to see this. We just need to do that. And then the case is closed. If you ever hear an agent say this phrase, it's the complete freaking opposite. Mm-hmm. It really is. They have a hidden agenda for everything.
And that's what they've been doing this whole time.
This last time she was out, that's what they did. And because she was like, now, mind you, our case manager, when I say she comes out religiously every 7 days, she's out here every 7 days. And she has been here in our home since February 15th up until just yesterday. She came out.
Have you asked her what her qualifications are? Is
no.
She got a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, licensing? And is she doing your drug testing? Because if she's been doing your drug testing, I would insist on seeing her credentials. See, I love it when I go to a meeting. Here's what happened yesterday. I had a parent, I told them, I said, sign anything that they want you to sign for me to join their meeting. Okay, an FST meeting. So I get logged into the FST meeting. They let me in the meeting and they say, what is your qualifications? I rattled off all of my qualifications. I have 2 master's degrees and 12 credits from a doctorate. I've authored 4 books. I've reunited 440 children back to their families. I've gotten 2 judges step down from their benches. I've had 2 lawyers debarred, 1 lawyer debarred twice. I've had, I've exposed forgery, forged police reports, you name it. I help families get their children back. And then I go, and what's your qualifications? Since we're sharing qualifications, she's like, we don't have to get smart here. And I was like, well, I gave you mine. What's yours?
Wow. Wow.
I gave you a laundry list of mine. I'm just asking for just one of yours.
Just one.
But they'll never be able to give it because and of
course they didn't give me anything.
No, because they know that they're not state licensed, and if they're not state licensed, they legally have no authority to bring anything into court. They have no recommendations, nothing. They can't even go to the judge legally and ask and request a warrant. They can't do it. It's no different than a Walmart employee going to the court and going, hey, Your Honor, I met up with Matt and Amber yesterday. Can you just scribble a warrant for me? The judge is going to look at this guy and go, you're a Walmart employee. What are you doing in my office? Right?
Well, I mean, I wish that was the case because when all of this did happen, they took her February 13th. Valentine's Day, we had our first Zoom meeting. And the only reason why they took her is because when DCF wanted the safety monitor to be involved, they have to, how many days is it?
2 weeks is what their paperwork says.
So every 14 days they have to update and, what have you. Well, 3 weeks goes by, haven't heard from any of the the social workers and after we've been calling and calling and calling, Maria, my niece, which was the safety monitor, she was like, Amber, what are we supposed to do? So she left. So the day that they wanted to come out here, I said, listen, Maria's not here. I told you she had other priorities. She has her own family to take care of. And because she left, they took her. So February 13th, they came and took Oakland. Thankfully, my aunt was able to take her instead of them taking her to God knows where the hell they were going to take her to. We had our Zoom in court February 14th. And we had to have Maria back. The judge asked if Maria could come back. So obviously she did. February 15th, we did the Zoom meeting. And Maria stated that she can come back in. She could stay with us for however long she needed to. And the judge looked at it. And that's when Waynisha Wright was under oath and wasn't able to clarify or give her.
She couldn't answer no questions.
No. And every answer was she was cocky. Cocky. So the judge looked at us and she's like, Amber, go get your baby. So for the judge to overrule because guardian ad litem, DCF, everybody thought it was not safe for the baby to be home with us. The judge was the only one that was able to overrule that. But why did the judge still continue to let this go on?
Well, here's my thought on the whole thing. Are you ready? You said that in the very beginning, they didn't even have a warrant, a court order, or emergency removal order, or nothing, right?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Okay.
So
Check
you
this
never
out.
saw a petition of the courts of why they took her to start with? You never
No.
saw the petition?
All right, check this out.
They didn't have a legal right to take her.
All right, check this out. Ready? Let me ask you this one question before I do this. Do you guys understand what the term poisonous fruit from a poisonous tree means?
Yes.
Okay. Ready? For everybody who's watching this, fruit from a poisonous tree. Take example. I'm a police officer, for example. I pull Amber and Matt over in their car for some BS traffic violation, whatever I make up. I tell them to get out of the car. I then proceed to search the car, and even Matt and Amber say, we don't consent to no searches and seizures. Fantastic. They did their job. They asserted their Fourth Amendment rights, and I, as a cop, still violated that, right? So let's take it further. Say I go search the vehicle, and I come up with maybe, say, for example, a bag of little weed. Okay? Now, I take that evidence. I then arrest you guys, and I take you to jail. I then book you in. You guys go through the whole process. You guys you go in front of the judge. Now, if you didn't know to do this, your attorney better damn well know to do this. And if they're not doing this, they're a crooked ass attorney. They should be filing a motion for dismissal or suppression of evidence because the evidence was obtained illegally, right? It's the same thing in a CPS case. If your children were taken without a court order, a warrant, or some kind of emergency removal order, everything from that point forward is now tainted poisonous evidence. The whole proceeding, court procedures, policies and procedures of CPS that they never follow, anything that they're admitting into court as evidence is now poisonous fruit of a poisonous tree. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So you take that, and if your lawyer or you, if somebody's representing themselves pro se, if you're not filing a motion to suppress evidence and a motion to dismiss the case on lack of legal evidence, this whole case should have never been going forward in the first place.
I wish we would. I wish we would have known that.
Right? Every single parent that's looking at this broadcast right now, every single person that's looking at this in regards as evidence, and if you've never had a warrant, court order, emergency removal, CPS just came in and said, give me your child, that's kidnapping. That's a felony. They should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for kidnapping, and then your case should be dismissed on lack of evidence, because this whole entire procedure is a violation of your constitutional rights and due process policies and procedures.
Well, see, that's what the Clay County Behavioral the lady there told us. She's been doing it for 16 years. She's a doctor's in something or whatever, but she told us, she was like, your case should have been dismissed after they illegally took your daughter. She goes, there's no reason. She goes, and I'm closing out your parenting case. Y'all don't need parenting. She goes,
Or did you record her so you could subpoena her?
She told us. I said, well, will you come to? She goes, subpoena me and my boss. And
there are a few good people still out there.
So you know what's crazy is my attorney, this past week, because it got lifted, the safety monitor got lifted on April 26th, right? My attorney stated that now, because that was when the reunification. I was like, no, ma'am. The baby has been with us since February. She was only gone 24 hours or 48 hours, if that. She sat there and said that my case will not be closed until October. And I said, Hilda, can you not read what is in these reports, that it says that the case closure is for August 15th? And I have everything in writing, because I don't. Once I learned from you,
wait, time out. So in the documentation, it says the closure is on August 13th. How does it state it? Read it to me, because it may say a review of closure is August 13th.
I'm going to pull it up for you.
Okay. Tell me what it says.
You got to be able to look at the wording. They try to hide things in the wording.
The wording is the key. Okay. I go to court a lot. In fact, my husband, he calls me yesterday. He goes, the sheriff's here. He wants you. What did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do nothing. Just take the stinking subpoena. I'm supposed to go testify in court. And he's like, well, you make CPS so mad. I was scared he was here to arrest you. And I was like, let him. Bring it on.
Bring it on, Toots.
I go to the sheriff's office. He goes, here you go. Here's another one.
All right, you guys got it?
No, hold on.
I'm trying to go through her emails.
I'll get it, because he doesn't know what he's looking for. Hold on.
The wording is
Come on, Matt.
She's
Come
saying
on.
October. When you say that makes me think that is a review, and that they're going to recommend that it stays open till October. They're wanting 2 additional months, which is
the only reason why they would do that is so they can collect more funding for a couple more.
Correct. Months. And if they can leave it open.
That's what I said. I was like, well, she keeps saying that, but everybody else is saying they're for case closure on August 15th.
August 15th.
And she goes, well, I mean, if they're all for that, then I'll push for that also. So I told Amber, I said, all I'm getting out of all this is everybody wants a paycheck.
That means it's a review, honey. That means they're trying to max it out to the 12th month. If they can max it out to the 12th month, they can say, well, case review means.
I seen the users just say that too.
Yeah, what they're going to try to do is say, well, we think they should have more of this and more of that, and they'll try to extend it for a second year. Is what they'll
do. Here's the thing, Amber, Matt. Your case, according to the contracts between CPS and
has to be a year
for them to get full funding. To get full funding, it has to be 12 months, but then your case cannot be open more than 2 years.
Correct.
And they're going to extend it. They're going to try to do everything they possibly can to extend it to 24 months. Why? They get so much more money.
So,
but here's the problem with that, though, if your case gets assigned further out at the 18th month mark, they will try to push for TPR, which is terminating of your rights, for a lot of parents. So parents, if you've got a TPR coming up and stuff like that, don't wait until you get that TPR notice to contact me. I'll tell you, I just won yesterday my 12th TPR. I've worked on 12 TPRs and I've never won one yet. I mean, never lost one yet. So I've won every single one. They hate to see me coming. And so I've never lost. So, because I know the rules and guidelines that they have to follow, and they don't like to be forced to follow their own rules and guidelines.
All right. So what do you guys got?
So we found this is from Camelot, where they recommended case closure. It says Oakland remains placed in the home with parents Amber and Matthew. The FSC observes Oakland once every 7 days. Oakland appears to be doing exceptional and meeting appropriate developmental milestones. Amber and Matthew have consistently cared for Oakland. Oakland has attended all necessary medical appointments since birth, supported by Amber and Matthew. Oakland is up to date on all immunizations and cleared by all medical professionals. The family's home is safe and stable, meeting adequate standards. Amber is a stay-at-home mother, and Matthew is the provider of verifiable income. The FSC has observed a significant amount of growth from mother Amber. Amber is attentive, caring, and a loving parent. Amber is consistent and reliable. Amber always shows affection and appreciation toward her children. Amber is kind, respectful, and understanding. The father, Matthew, is protective of his family. Matthew is a caring, loving, and bonded father to Oakland. Matthew has shown independence, honesty, self-control, and cooperation. Amber and Matthew have both been successfully discharged from their parenting services. Amber and Matthew initially requested individual therapy from the FSC to assist them with their mental health during the struggles of this active case. Since Amber and Matthew have completed their initial biopsychosocial evaluations, Matthew's first therapy session is scheduled for 7/17. Amber's is 7/23. Amber is submitted to a drug screen 6:30 at CareSpot. Unfortunately, Amber had a shy bladder due to being pregnant and was not able to provide CareSpot with enough. The FSC sent Amber to another drug test where everything came back normal and negative. The FSC plans to send Amber for one more to successfully comply with the case plan. Amber and Matthew are engaging in their case plan and demonstrating positive behavior changes. And Amber and Matthew continue to ensure Oakland is always in a safe environment with no physical abuse or harm. The FSC highly recommends case closure as to the case plan expiration date of 8/13/2023.
That's just the expiration date of their contract. That doesn't mean that the case is closed that day. It just means it's
But when we went to court,
today.
the judge even said, she goes, I have no issue closing the case on August 15th.
I know, but that's the expiration of it. I understand that, but that is not a guarantee they will.
So what do we do? Can we just say, okay, excuse my French, but fuck you, we're done?
No. You ask the judge. No. You just say
No,
you're
Amber. No. No.
So what you do is you hold the judge accountable for what he said. Your Honor, what is the issue? Why can't we close the case? Okay.
You're trying to get the judge to give specifics.
So you have to have the judge on your side. You have to have more people than. See, I loved it when I would go to court and I would have more degrees, more expertise than these caseworkers. And, I've gotten a prosecutor fired. The very first TPR that I went to, the prosecutor got fired. So, which I love that. But anyways, the fact is you want to have enough people on your side to where the judge looks at CPS and goes, you're crazy. I'm just going to close it. y'all have to figure that out down the road. But understand, they don't like to lose. So be prepared when they show up at your door again and say, oh, there's a hotline. Because you know what's going to happen a lot of times, a lot of my families, you can probably some of them that are watching here, they retaliate. So I had a case out in Arkansas and Arizona where every time that I showed up for court, the aunt would like lose her food stamps or anything because they retaliate. Okay. And they're all these agencies are connected and they're like, we'll fix her. We'll just do this and we'll do that. Okay. So they do retaliate. So you have to prepare for that. Okay. Always be prepared for the retaliation and act like it's no big deal. Okay. That's cool. That's fine. But if you go in there and go, how dare you? Oh, you've got anger issues. We definitely can't give your kid back to you.
I see Amber doing that. I see Amber doing that already.
They had a case of me at the very beginning where I've cussed several of them out at the beginning.
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't want you to have any emotions, okay? And they use your emotions against you, which is wrong, okay? It's literally wrong. I'm telling you, as a mom of 6 kids, I've told them before, when I've had them show up at my house twice. The second time they showed up, right? I actually lied, but the officer they wanted to go up in my bedroom. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in my house, if I want to get to it later, I throw it up in my bedroom. My bedroom's kind of like the overflow room because it's a private room. And so I throw everything like laundry, you name it, up in my
everything.
room. Everything. It's kind of like the junk room. Everybody's
designated pigsty room.
Exactly. Okay. And it's not going to pass inspection. And I'm going to be sitting there going, oh my God. So what I did was,
as long as you don't have rats running around
right. And so I looked at the officer. I said, my kids don't even go up there. I said, that's my sex dungeon. I have this, I have that. I went to town explaining how many dildos I had, how many swings I had, and I have this and I have that. And my
husband ain't a late night talk show host, Lucinda. What?
He's looking at me like, what are you doing? Because he's like, I know we don't have that up there. What are you doing? And I'm looking at the officer dead in the face. And I said, do you want somebody coming in your privacy and exposing your privacy? And he starts laughing. He goes, yeah, we're not going up there. And I was like, thank you.
Wow. 50 Shades of Grey up in here.
Right?
All right, guys. So the basic thing is with the judge might be saying something, but you've got to get it in detail in writing. Otherwise, it doesn't freaking exist.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Right? It's the same thing with CPS. If CPS says something, if you don't get it in writing, it's like they never said it, unless you have some kind of evidence on recording, something to where you can actually hold them accountable.
Yeah, because like Matt was saying, when my attorney was asking for the signature from Kathleen Dooley, the guardian ad litem, they couldn't even provide any documentation or anything stating, and nobody's ever heard from this lady. She's never been to court.
You can't even get a hold of her. People's left messages. She won't call them back.
Just on that, you get a dismissal for lack of what's it called?
Lack of transparency and communication.
Yeah, lack of transparency and communication. Yep.
So what can we do from here on out? What is your advice?
What I would do, if I was you, here's what I would do, is because you're at such a close stage of ending this, and you're just basically looking for clarification. What I personally would do.
Don't piss them off.
Number one, don't piss them off. Because this is at a stage, well, you obviously want to stick up for your constitutional rights. You want to stand on authority at all times. Okay, that's a given. But at this stage in the facilitation of all this, you want to have some kind of tactful approach to this. So where you maybe you file a petition with the judge to modify. Maybe it's a petition to a motion with the judge to clarify.
To dismiss and vacate.
Dismiss and vacate.
Due to services being completed, I would recommend that your next hearing, or when they dismiss this expiration of this, that you guys submit that same day a dismissal due to services being rendered and completed. Plain and simple.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand that.
To him it does. To me it doesn't. This whole damn thing doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I've been the one doing all the research about it.
I panic. I look too far into things, but every time that I say something's going to happen, it happens.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
And he's the one over here that tries to be the strong one, the hopeful one, and I'm like, listen, they will pull whatever they want when they want. He goes, well, they can't. They can't. I was like, they have.
So if they're required, here's my first concern. So I do drug testing and stuff like that. My concern is they're wanting you to do another drug test before the final expiration, right? So make sure to record your final drug test and make sure that you put the drug test and observe the drug test to make sure that they don't taint the drug test. So make sure, and I would also recommend, here's my recommendation, take it or leave it, because this is your last drug test and it's going to break or make your case, and they're frauds 9 times out of 10. If they want to keep a case open, I've had parents come back and say, what the heck? My drug test came positive for this. How? Right? And I'm like, yeah, just expect that. So when DCF test, hold on. I recommend that you go have a private test done with a reputable company, which is Quest Diagnostics. Will not work with Children's Division because they themselves say Children's Division is the most fraudulent agency, and they will not contract with them. They will not work with them. And so I always recommend parents, it's $45 to get Quest to do a test for you. I always recommend that final test. You do both. You do theirs, and then you go that within the hour. Okay. You have to prove that it was within the hour, either before or after. You do that so that when you go to court and they come back and say, oh yeah, it was positive. Oh, really? Because this company, who has more reputation of being higher than your company in accountability, says it didn't. So who are we to believe, Your Honor? Because they have a motive to make sure that you fail. Quest has no motive. See what I'm saying? There's no motive there to say whether you're positive or negative. They're honest. They're not involved in that. So to be able to have something to dispute that, then the question comes into play, who's right and who's wrong? Right? So who's
they wanted me to submit to 3 random drug screens because, again, I tested positive for marijuana.
So is it recreational there, or is it med? No,
it's medical.
Okay, so do you have a med card?
Unfortunately, no, I don't. But I can get one.
To. Yeah, you need to. I tell parents all the time, I have a med card. I don't even use.
He has one.
I have it just so that if they try to set me up, I can go, good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't use weed. I don't smoke. I don't, but the fact is, I don't trust them. I literally don't trust them. So if they come back, now it is recreational now and I can use it. But the fact is, I don't. But when it was medical here, I always made sure, because I would eat food at clients' houses. You take the risk of contamination. They make edibles or whatever. So I always had a medical card just in case. Though I've never done drugs. I've never, you know what I'm saying? So
I haven't either. Weed is the only thing that I've ever done.
I know, but weed's not, it's medical. You got tested positive for weed. So technically it was illegal when you used it because you didn't have a card. So always get where you're legal. And they can't say jack shit if you're legal.
You hear that? I need to go get my medical card.
That doesn't mean get your medical card and start using weed. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
Okay.
No, I know that.
I'm just saying, have it just in case. You know what I'm saying?
So they had me, they wanted me to do 3 random. So when all of this first started happening with DCF, we all 3 did a drug screen. Mine was the only one that came back negative for everything. Matt's came back positive for alcohol.
And I don't even drink.
And he doesn't even drink. And then the safety monitor came back positive for K2 and something else. And she doesn't do drugs either. So they were trying to say that everyone, we were all on something. But I was the only one that came back negative, and every single drug test that I have submitted to has been negative.
So let me ask you this: have they ever done a drug test from a caseworker inside your home or anything
They did
like
with
that?
DCF.
That's the one
Okay.
that came
With DCF.
back healthy.
So here's the thing: is if they're drug testing you inside your home, one, that breaks state law, state protocol for drug testing. Number 2, a CPS agent is not a licensed drug tester. Lucinda, you're on mute.
So when you have mobile testing, they have to wear a badge that shows that they are med certified to be able to do those drug testing. And you have the right to say, I want to see your certification to do this drug test because you're doing it in my home, not in a business setting, right? You have the right to request that. And just because they have a badge, you tell them you want to see their certification for that drug testing. And the reason I know this is I'm a drug testing company. Okay, that's what I do. I also help parents fix their credit. I help them start businesses. I've helped 19 families start businesses. Okay, everything from lawn mowing services to hair cutting to mobile mechanics, you name it. Okay, I've helped them start businesses. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that I teach parents how to drive, get their credit fixed, get new cars, get apartments, all the work. Okay. And yes, I do a lot. But the fact is, they try to set these parents up for failure. If you feel like you never do enough, this is what I would tell my parents when I was a parent aide. When they give you a list of 10 items, you're going to do 20. We would sit there and we'd look at the list of everything that they would tell these parents they had to do. You have to do a parenting class. You have to do this, this, and this, and this. So I would say, well, not only that, if you don't have your GED, we're going to go get your GED. If you don't know how to drive, we're going to learn how to drive. I would put 5 extra items on that list so that when we would go to court, we'd say, Your Honor, not only did they do this 10 list that CPS said to do, but she went and got her GED. She went and got her hair license. She's now owns her own, operates her own hair salon. At the age of 19, I helped the mom get her GED, learn how to drive, get her a brand new car, get her into hair school, helped her. I told her that when she graduated from hair school, I would pay for her first 6 months hair salon chair in a hair salon and start her own business. The judge was so impressed. He looked at CPS and he goes, I think mom has proven herself. TPR dismissed. They were livid because they were sure they were going to win. And the adoptive parents were in the waiting room ready to take custody of that child that day. And the judge filed trafficking charges against them because they had already done the paperwork for the adoption without the mother losing her rights. See what I'm saying?
So when I have this baby, he's due September 29th. Can they try to take him?
If your case isn't closed, they'll probably do the same thing and try to extend your case on him. So what they'll do is they may close the case with this baby, but they may say, well, because of the concerns with the first baby, they may want to try to monitor this baby for a year to make sure that you're okay. So what I would do is do everything you can to get this case closed before this baby is born.
But here's the thing.
They don't have no jurisdiction.
Here's the thing with that, Amber. They never had jurisdiction in the first place.
Well, that's true. They didn't, but
okay. So here's the thing: is this whole entire case, the whole entire procedure, is fruit from a poisonous tree. It's all a sham. Mm-hmm. CPS has no jurisdiction over you. Okay. They can
claim if a case is open, they have the right to come in and check on your baby at the hospital and all this stuff. But there's issues with that. So you need to record everything during the birth, during everything. You need to be eyes on, ears on at all times.
So here's so to finish my sentence.
Sorry, I apologize.
CPS has no legal authority constitutionally wise to subject you or your newborn baby to such treatment. It's malicious prosecution. They have no authority to do such a thing. They have no probable cause to believe that your child that's going to be born is under any kind of imminent danger. Okay, you're literally about ready to close your first case out,
right?
Successfully. So CPS has no legal authority to tell you that they're going to place your newborn under supervision. There's no constitutional reason for that.
They didn't even, with my older two, they live in home with us. And when DCF was involved, sorry, that's my horse hitting the wall, thumping. We have a Great Dane. They went to my daughter's school and didn't pull her into a side room, didn't do it nonchalantly. They sat there and questioned her in front of the school with no nothing.
That's a HIPAA violation. By the way,
they did it in front of her school. And then sat there and told her, do not call your mother. So what does my daughter do? She calls me immediately. She goes, hey mom, that lady was just up here. They told me not to contact you because they said that they didn't have your information to contact you. That's why they came to me.
That's intimidation. That's coercion. That's blackmail. Yep. You have any idea that's a violation of your child's Fourth Amendment rights and your Fourth Amendment rights.
It's mental abuse by telling her not to call you.
When I did my biopsychosocial,
that's like a pedo telling a child, don't tell your mommy I touched you inappropriately. That's basically CPS saying, don't tell your mama we did something wrong.
I mean, that's how I took it when she called us and told us that she was up there. And you don't pull her to the side. You don't do nothing. You talk right in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So and then telling her that she didn't have my correct contact information when I just saw the lady 2 days prior.
You're right.
She had it. She was using that as an excuse.
So we're going to wrap this the podcast up from here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with one last thought, guys. Okay, in regards to what we just talked about. Look at it something like this. When you sign a driver's license, you are literally contracting with the state. Mm-hmm. Okay, you are telling them that they have jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. Right? So look at it this way. If you send your kid to public school, you're entering into a contract with the state. Now, just because you sign a driver's license doesn't mean that the police officer gets to pull you over anytime he or she wants and search your vehicle. It's a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights, correct? So just because you put your child into a public school doesn't mean that CPS has the right to go to that school and question your child without your permission or your prior written consent. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Okay, now they do this all the damn time because parents are not holding them responsible. Parents are not calling them out for their illegal acts. Okay, so when you are able to understand that and you file a motion or a declaration with the school in the beginning of the year saying, I don't give permission to anybody, CPS workers, police officers, nurses, teachers, anybody that comes inside the school permission to speak with my child about anything except for basic educational needs. If you get that notarized, you get it legalized, it's a legal document, you file it with the school at the beginning of every single year, okay? And now if they violate that, they're not only violating your constitutional rights, they're violating civil rights, and now they're opening themselves up for a civil lawsuit, and they're opening themselves up for criminal action.
And the school can be held liable by allowing them to question her in front of other students. The school themselves, that's a lawsuit.
This is making me sick.
So you guys are taking a massive step on
just
learning.
Get your case closed first and then work on the other parts.
Right. So let's get the case closed.
You have 2 years to sue them. 2 years.
Come back, do some more talking and consultations with me and Lucinda or whatever, and start learning this stuff. Send me an email. I'll email you a ton of stuff. Okay. But you should never, all the parents watching this show, Amber, Matt, never stop learning your constitutional rights. Never stop studying the law. Never stop studying contract law and what you can do to further protect you and your family in the long run.
And know the rules and guidelines of your state, guys. That is so imperative that you know now every state is not the same. Now they have to follow the rules of the Title IV funding, yes, which that's the All States Manual that I wrote. Okay, the All States Manual is the Title IV funding. But I've released Missouri's. I'm getting ready to release several other states of their rules and guidelines. Missouri's literally 800 pages. You need to know the rules and guidelines that they have to follow. And what I love to do is when I work with a client, I give their lawyer, when I walk in, I give the judge a copy, and the judge is like, there's actual rules and guidelines? And I'm like, yeah, isn't that something? There's rules, right? Boo! The judge is like, why haven't I seen this? Because they think they're almighty gods and they can tell you what to do because they pay you. So
we have asked our caseworker, we have asked different different people, like her supervisor, how many other cases have you seen like this? And every one of them has said, we haven't seen any case like yours.
Even when you look up the class action lawsuit that's down in South Florida, nothing compares to what we've been through with these people.
Yeah. Just focus on getting your case closed and we'll help you.
Yeah, close your case first. This is what I always recommend to families. Close your case, right? Enjoy your family for 1 year. Take the time for trauma healing, okay? And then once the trauma healing is done, you've got another year to pound them with the lawsuit.
Well, they diagnosed me with PTSD and have me in group trauma classes.
Yeah, because they caused the trauma. They caused it.
Yeah.
Right? So you can sue them for that trauma because they admitted by putting you in those classes, they caused the trauma.
Guess what that falls under? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Watch this.
I'm scared.
Watch your screen. Watch your screen.
American Disabilities Act.
Really?
When you have CPS actively inflicting, okay,
Pain.
they are creating the very disability.
Yep.
You now have the opportunity, who's ever watching this show, you now have the opportunity because you don't need to be collecting disability checks in order to have benefits under the American Disability Act, because CPS is actively creating the disability. So now you can go to your lawyer and you can say, hey, I want to invoke the American Disability Act on my case. Now, granted, don't take it for what it's worth, because your lawyer is going to flip shit because they know how powerful the American Disability Act really is.
And it's federal. It's not state. It's federal. That's the difference.
Once you enact the American Disability Act, once you invoke it, it now becomes federal. Now you can actually take your CPS case out of state and civil court and yank it right out of there and put it right into federal court.
Yep.
So do that before the case closes?
No.
No,
Well, yeah, you
Well,
can, but where you're at right now, I wouldn't.
No, I would do this in somewhere in the very beginning of your case.
Yeah. Don't. I mean, you're so close to just being done with it.
No, if you did that now, you would be shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, you really would.
Okay.
So you guys, I got to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having us, Dallas and Lucinda.
Thank y'all.
Your story is incredible. Take care of that little one. She is cute as a button. You know, if you guys are not actively following Amber and Matt on TikTok, their TikTok scrolling across the screen right there. I'm sure they would appreciate the follow and the support. If you guys are not following Lucinda Pennington right there, foster child advocate on TikTok. She has an amazing book out. She's a published author. This is her book. You can find this on Amazon along with several other books of hers. Okay. So definitely go pick that up. And you know, if you are looking at filing a complaint against your case, if you want to take it to federal court, there's literally one or two courts in the entire country that operate on a constitutional basis. Okay. Here's a website to one of those courts.
Yep.
File a complaint with this website.
With hardcore evidence.
Hardcore evidence. Okay. Go to that website, file a complaint with them, and watch how quickly, if you have hardcore evidence, watch how quickly your case changes and turns around. Okay. If you guys are looking at getting a consultation with me, it's scrolling right across the screen right there. Go to my stand store, /Truth Hurts. You can set up a consultation with me at your convenience. So the day, the time, whatever fits your schedule. Okay. You can also email me here at truthhurtsconsulting@gmail.com. Other than that, you guys, I can't thank you guys enough for being on the show. You guys have a wonderful family, and I'm sure that you guys are going to do great. You can always get a hold of us.
Go to my website. You can set up a consultation with me.
I'll definitely be reaching out to you too. Most definitely. Y'all aren't strangers to my book anymore.
So,
well, look at it this way. If they hate me that much, I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Say bye.
Oh, look at that. Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. You guys smile.
Hi, baby.
Bye-bye, cutie. Blah, 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 blah. All right, guys. Take care, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, Lucinda. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Do you have any last words?
Just if you guys need a consultation, you know, Dallas and I work together. We're a team, so either one of us can help you. So knowledge is power. If you really want to help yourself, knowledge is power. So educate yourself. And we've done the education part of it. We'll share the education with you. It's probably the best $50 you'll spend with a consultation with us. So we're pretty good at what we do. I think we're pretty good at what we do. I know. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I learn so much every single day. And I just love sharing it and I love my building. My first official day is Monday. So y'all pray for me. My first official day of my building. So I'm going to do a live at 8 a.m. of grand opening. So I'm pretty excited.
Is that live going to be on TikTok?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Everybody go follow her on TikTok. Go to that live and check her out. So,
yeah, I'm pretty excited, guys.
Lucinda, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
You guys, for the last words, I'm going to leave you with a video of mine. It's a recent video on TikTok that is going viral. I want you to take a look at it. It's for educational purposes. And we'll see you next episode. Have a good evening.
You guys, what Child Protective Services doesn't want you to know. I really hope you stick around for this one because this one's important. So I was on the phone with a client here in Texas, and she sent me a recording from a phone call she had with her caseworker. Now, my client was very smart in this interaction because she recorded the whole entire phone call and she got the caseworker to admit a very crucial step in the process. So the caseworker on recording said, if you don't sign the safety plan, we'll have to take you to court. You guys, this is huge because of two reasons. Well, maybe three. Let's break it down. Number one, you guys, all interactions with CPS, including agreements, are 100% voluntary. Number two, the CPS worker just committed about 3 different felonies in that one sentence. Felony number 1 is coercion, intimidation, blackmail, and fraud. The safety plan is a 100% contract, and it has to be entered into voluntarily, knowingly, and purposefully. If the safety plan is 100% voluntary, and she admitted that on the recording, then if she's blackmailing you into signing that, then it no longer becomes voluntary. Oh, and let's not forget that she's getting a bonus if she gets you to sign the safety plan on the first visit. Yeah, they have financial incentives to get you to sign that safety plan. You guys, when you sign a safety plan and you enter into a contract with CPS, you are giving them jurisdiction. You're also telling the judge you're basically guilty. You guys, never sign anything with CPS and never let a CPS agent in your home without a warrant.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truth Hurts podcast, a podcast where we believe in standing up for your constitutional rights, freedom of speech, and telling the truth, even if it hurts. I'm your host, Malibu Dallas. What do you say we get this party started?